welcome back to News Geelong as we continue with the pulsating world of Geelong sport and our jockey, Ian Nichols.
Well, thanks for that, Rawlo. I'm playing in my home ground today at Torquay, the Tigers. And, of course, they've just announced two coaches for 2012, a co-coaching role. Two Macs they've picked up, hopefully big Macs, in Craig McCorn and Michael McFarlane. But more importantly, Inverleigh has named its coach for 2012, a man who started his career there, an icon. And we're talking about Dale Smith. Dale, first of all, congratulations, coaching Inverleigh, a finals team this year. Can they just go a little step further next year?
Look, I'd like to think so, but it sort of doesn't happen that way a fair bit in football, so we've got to work pretty hard again. The idea will be try to keep most of our players together, this group together, and we've got a lot of good kids coming through. So the prospects of the town is pretty good, so I'm really looking forward to the coaching appointment.
Well, you've stepped up from under 18s. It is a different ball game, isn't it, I suppose, when you get to the seniors?
Yeah, it certainly is. I suppose it starts from now. With the under-18s, you sort of walk up at Christmas time and you get them to train one night and then get them back before Christmas, and they usually turn up. Today it's about getting in contact with most of the senior squad I've got out there at the moment, and hopefully just making sure they're playing again, and look to obviously recruit a few new players into the club if we can do so. So I'm pretty excited about the prospects of what we've got, but as I said, 2 or 3 new blokes wouldn't go astray.
No, well, I guess that applies to most clubs, but you'll be having your scouts out there looking around to try and fill a couple of voids there. I
hope they've done a little bit of homework already, most of the guys. That's usually where you get most of your recruits from. Some mates just turn up with the playing group, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully they've got a few good names for me anyway to start me off.
And when will they be getting stuck into it, after the Christmas break?
I'll probably meet them once before Christmas and get a little program together so that they do come back after Christmas with some sort of base behind them. But after that, we'll just go pretty hard from that point of time.
So during this year, did you get much of a chance to see the opposition?
I've seen Inverleigh, because I do the broadcast in the afternoon, I've seen most of the sides, so I know what Inverleigh are about and I know what most of the other sides are about. The ones that really we do struggle with time after time is Werribee. They are the side that you don't hear a lot about, and they've recruited pretty well so far, I've heard, so that they could be a real dark horse again this year.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty interesting competition. They come from far and wide, and you cover a lot of ground, don't you? As you said, from Werribee to Inverleigh, literally.
Yeah, it's probably one of the furthest trips you can do. Maybe Winchelsea would stretch it just a little bit further, but I think they're pretty well placed. As I said, they've got a great base out there, and from where they've come from, they had a plan about 4 or 5 years ago to get to finals football. They've done that now. I'm just hoping that there's not too many expectations out there with me going back, that we can stay there again and at least be part of finals football.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you're not taking the attitude that all the hard yakka has been done, because you've got a lovely base to come off, though, haven't you?
Oh, I think that's half the thing. It's my job's sort of a little bit half done at the moment, but again, I suppose I started my football out there, and going back home, it does have a few expectations, I suppose, from a lot of people around there, and they've now set themselves up pretty well. So, look, I'll be pushing to make sure we make finals football again, and once you're in there, you never know where you can end up.
Well, you've had many, many years in football, haven't you? And been a bit of a journeyman in your own way, and it's nice, I guess, to be back home where you belong.
Yeah, back home, that's where I started with footy, and there's been a few bridges I've passed over in the number of years I've been involved in footy. But as I said, I've really enjoyed my last probably 8 or 9 years at Bannockburn, and coaching the under-18 kids there was probably the best I've really enjoyed. That's probably the most time I've enjoyed my football, and just seeing these kids develop. So we've got a good group at Inverleigh. I'm looking forward to those kids coming through also.
Well, once again, congratulations and good luck for 2012.
Thank you very much, and hopefully we can do this and after a grand final next year. It'd be nice.
Well, thanks very much for that, Dale. Very incisive look at the Hawks for next year. Now, back to Brad Ottens, the man who created quite a surprise this week by retiring. And the first thing we asked Brad, why did he really decide to hang up the boots?
I had a gut feeling this whole year that it was more than, I was more than likely going to be my last year, and prepared for that. I've sort of prepared for that over the time, and but yeah, probably last week I spoke to Scotty the week before last, and genuinely still considered the idea of playing on, but told him on that day that I didn't want to commit to something that I wasn't wholly committed to, and I didn't think that'd be the right thing to do by a footy club that stuck by me for a long time. So considered it over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, last week I rang Scotty and was hoping to speak to him in person, but he was away playing golf, so had his priorities worked out. But you know, I think the day before that, just sort of, I spoke to Sarah and I both sort of in the car, just said, yeah, I think I want to give it away. And once I'd sort of admitted it to myself and sort of, it was something I was pretty happy to commit to after that.
Well, Brad, was it any easier retiring knowing that you were going out with a couple of good mates?
I think, no, not really. I think obviously seeing Lingy make, you know, a pretty committed decision that he made, and you know, sort of, probably helped me a little bit to sort of get my head around the fact that I wasn't the only one. Maybe made it a little bit easier, but no, this is something I think when you finish up, it's something you've got to do for the right reasons, and I sort of wanted to do that for myself, and yeah, and that was probably, you know, it was still a pretty tough decision to make. One of the hardest decisions I've had to make when it comes to my footy career.
Well, now it's a new game for you, Brad, being bossed around by the wife and not the coach.
Well, I'm in the middle of organising a wedding, so that's I'm being bossed around pretty well. Don't worry about that. Yeah, obviously, you know, being a footballer, you get told where to be and what to wear, and you know where you're expected to be. You sort of live by a bit of a schedule. So I guess it'll be interesting to sort of have to start making a few decisions for myself, and you know, that's something that I guess you look forward to. As I said, that's part of life as a footballer. You sort of get told where you have to be and what you have to do. So yeah, I'll probably look forward to just having a bit of a normal life, I guess for a change.
So, Brad, having a think about it, what do you really believe was the highlight of your career?
Probably the premiership just gone. It's probably, you know, I think for a lot of reasons it was just something that probably not many people outside this club probably expected us to achieve what we did. So that made it pretty special, and yeah, I mean, obviously with the thought that it might have been my last year was probably made it probably the highlight of my. But all three flags were, you know, it's pretty hard to count any of them out. But yeah, this last one's been pretty special.
Well, Rawlo, that's my lot from Spring Creek Reserve Torquay. Now it's back to the studio.
Thank you, Nico. And now the weather scene for Geelong and the Surf Coast with our own scintillating Sophie Miller. Good evening, Sophie.
Thank you, Graham, and good evening to our viewers as we take a look at the expected weather outlook for Geelong and the Surf Coast over the next 6 days. Tomorrow, starting off the weekend, Saturday will be sunny throughout the day with a top of 28. Sunday will be mostly sunny with isolated showers and thunderstorms from midday, reaching a hot top of 31. Monday will start the new week of November being cloudy with isolated showers during the morning and a top of 23. Tuesday will continue to be partly cloudy with isolated showers and thunderstorms developing later in the day and a top of 28. Wednesday will be cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with an expected top of 22. Thursday will see isolated showers during the morning, followed by a mostly sunny afternoon with a top of also 22. Today was cloudy with patchy drizzle during the morning with a top of 22. That's the weather outlook for Geelong and the Surf Coast this Friday evening. Have a safe and pleasant weekend, and it's back to you, Graham.
Thank you for joining us on News Geelong. To the Turner family in Hoppers Crossing, thank you for all your support. Remember, take your time and smell the flowers. From all the team at News Geelong, have a pleasant evening, a safe weekend and a very good night.